Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. First of all, I would like to thank you guys for watching our last video. I enjoyed filming it. I like cooking. So I figured I would do another video today. Today, I am cooking, not cheese balls. Today I am cooking beef curry. Normally, the meat I use in beef curry is beef stew meat. But I've learned that with beef stew meat, it does not get really tender right away. So I have a pile of New York strip steaks, which I'm going to cut up. We'll get to that later. My family, if you guys didn't know, is from India. We are from a little place in India called Goa. So I'm going to really quick film my setup. So right here, I have two pans set up. One is going to be for frying the steak. One is going to be where the curry actually goes into. I have the stove on already. These three seasonings, I will explain that. Well, four, I guess, with the saffron right there. But those four seasonings are going to be used just with the steak. And everything in this pan is going to be moved over there. I've got cilantro, jalapeno, one jalapeno. And please note, I know it's not called jalapeno, it's pronounced jalapeno. I'm just saying that for fun. So I have one jalapeno, cilantro, a bag of potatoes, which I put in, like, are the same potatoes that I use in the chicken. And then, like I said, I got the New York strip steaks. Well, wait, how many did I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them. They're about this big. I'm going to cut them up. If you're a vegetarian and you don't like watching people cut up meat or cook with meat, this is not the video for you. Find another one on our channel to watch. But really quick, I did just get groceries and I saw something left out. It's been out for like 5 minutes, so I'll put it away really quick. And I will continue the video. So 2 seconds, I will be done. And that test, that was difficult. Wow. Just kidding. So, obviously when cooking, this is very loud, hold on. Obviously when cooking, you want to start with a clean workstation, especially with COVID. If you're going to be having other people try your food that you make, clean the area before you do it. I use, hold on, my cat's on crack. Anyway, I use, for cleaner, I use Windex and then like this, Mr. Clean Power, well, it's like a yellow surface spray. Besides the point, I am going to go back to cutting up the New York strip steak. I kind of already started one just because I wanted to see how I was going to start to cut it. I'm trying to decide if this is the camera angle I want. Yeah, it is. It'll do. Well, hold on. Sorry guys, I'm going to shift you around a bit. That works. That way you guys can kind of see the steak right there. Okay, so what I did basically with the steak is I just took it. I'll do it with this one. I'll do it with the next one. Just cut it into little pieces like this. So cut it this way. So like, and from there I'm just going to cut them in half. I'll show you what it's going to look like. So I'm going to have pieces, a lot of pieces now looking at this. A lot of pieces just like this, kind of creating the shape that I want. I am not going to take off some of the... Can you guys hear my cat running around? You can, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with my cat Midnight. Also when I cook, not that the cats do this, if you have animals, don't let them anywhere near where you're cooking, like they're running around on the floor, because from where I'm standing, the basement, the light in the background is really bright, I just realized that. The doorway to the basement is right over here, and they go down for the litter box and stuff, and they're going back and forth there. But hold on, I want to stand back here and this light is in the way, so I'm going to really quick rearrange my setup. I'm not going to pause yet. I'm not going to pause filming, I'm just going to continue. So just give me 2 seconds guys, bear with me. I thought I had a decent spot where I was filming, and I didn't realize that the kitchen light would be so overbearing. That's it. I do want to just move some stuff out of the way before I start. I do have some, we keep our mail here and just some stuff out on the counter. I just gotta clear space. So I've already cleaned the counter over here, so I don't really need to redo that. But I'm just gonna move stuff over there really quick, because like I said, the light is a little bright in the background. Well, I don't know if it's a background. The light looks like a halo when I'm standing. Just kidding. Alright, the beef. Whoa, that's heavy. All the ingredients. Put you guys down. All right, we're good. Wait, hold on. The light is still there. Let me scooch this way. Okay. You guys can see this? Good. Alright, so continuing where I was. Hold on. Wash my hands. So I'm just going to continue cutting these into cubes. If you're going to make this kind of the way I am, you can cut them into whatever size you feel like. I am just deciding to have this be my size. Keep in mind, there's going to be other ingredients, so I also don't want to make these too big. Like, I wouldn't want to, I mean, I could, but I wouldn't want to put something that big in. Just so it could cook unevenly, it could just not turn out well. So I'm going to cut it, like I said, into those cube shapes. Actually, I need a bowl. Hold on. No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm not using any other dishes that I don't need to. So, channel update again. So it does look like Tiffany and I are going to be doing a little bit more videos. We do have a little bit of spare time on our hands, so we will be doing that now. It's just a matter of deciding what kind of content we're doing. So, ooh, I almost cut my finger. So, you guys already know what to do when I say that. Share this video. Share our videos. We do want more subscribers. We don't want to waste our time in doing nothing just to have nobody watch the videos we put out there. We do take time out of our day to do the videos. Yes, we enjoy doing it, but there is other things we can be doing. So it's kind of, and I know we're starting kind of new to YouTube. We're kind of starting out, but we want to build our fan base. So if you guys would share our videos, subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, we would definitely appreciate that. Sidebar, I am cutting off this piece of fat because it's really big and I don't need something that large, because then that bite will be just a fat bite. So I did lie. I am going to trim off some of the excessive amounts of fat. Just set that to the side for now. So here we are. I mean, this one's kind of ripped. We have the piece of steak. So how you're going to cut it is you're going to cut it, I mean, like I said, cut it how you work, but how it works for you. How I'm cutting it is like this. Right here, right here, right here, right here. So you do it, you do you, boo. You cut it how you feel like you want to cut it. This is just how I'm deciding to cut it. I've never cooked curry with actual steak before. But these were on sale, to be honest with you. And I know New York strips, they're pretty tender. And if you don't really have tender beef, it kind of takes away from the dish and kind of ruins it a little bit, in my opinion. I mean, it probably doesn't like ruin it. The flavor is still there, but tender meat just makes it like that much better. That's a huge piece of fat. This whole piece is fat. Wow, lovely. So we've got our, let's call them the long pieces. Oh, whoa, this is a very wide piece. Hold on. Get the fatty parts off. Back there. So again, don't tip this. We've got our wide pieces. Now you're basically going to cut them like this. So they're cubes. So cut them down the middle or however big you want them. That's just how I'm doing it. Another piece of that. I will show you guys how to do the actual like curry part of it. I gotta try to figure out the setup on the stove, just because it's a hot stove and I'm not trying to set my phone down on a hot stove. So bear with me when we get to that part. I also don't know how long this video is going to be. So if you stick with me to the end, thank you. If not, no offense taken here. The last cooking video I did when I cooked the rotisserie chicken ended up being a lot longer than I thought it would be. Also because I was just not very prepared, and me doing a video was kind of like a last minute plan. I wasn't going to, I was just going to cook. But I'm like, hey, I haven't put up a YouTube video for a while. I'm going to do it. So again, I'm doing about this size, between that size and like this. Just so there's different varying pieces. If I wanted to, I could cut it again in half like that. I'm just going to leave it. Actually, nah, screw it, we'll cut it. Yeah, we'll leave it. Don't spend too much time stressing about, like if you're doing it this way, stressing about how big it's going to be. Like I said, don't make it too big. Like that, that's a little large. But just don't sit and stare at a piece for 20 minutes. It's going to take you much longer to cook that way. There's a lot of fat on this piece. Trim the fat off of this. Speaking of fat, okay, so no shade to this restaurant. Don't come for me. I'm just giving my opinion. I am allowed to express my opinion. Freedom of speech. Thank you. Next. So I went to Outback with Tiffany. I don't remember what day. A few days ago, and because I was kind of in the mood for prime rib. And prime rib, keep in mind, it's fatty meat. There's a lot of fat on it. But there's a point when there's too much fat. So I ordered my prime rib. I ordered I think it was the Outback style prime rib. I don't know what was Outback style about it. I didn't get it. But I just got that because it was the same price. I'm like, huh, this might be a little bit different. Let me try this one. So got the prime rib out, and it looked charred on the outside. I mean charred. Like, so when you season prime rib, pretend this isn't a piece of prime rib. You season like the outside of it like this, and then you put it on the stove. I mean, I know some people bake it a little bit and then do it on the stove. I don't know how they cook it there, but the seasoning that was along the side was like someone took like pepper, like salt and pepper, and just like doused it with pepper on the outside. Like, it was overbearing. When I took a bite of like the edge of it, I gagged because it was too much seasoning. I had to scrape off the seasoning, and I had like a pile like this high of like seasoning like this, and it was not good. Also, if we're talking about ratio to fat, so how a prime rib fat to meat ratio should probably be like 20% fat, 80% meat. The ratio for what I got was probably 50% fat and 50% meat. And like the fat chunks were like huge, like and thick, and they were slimy, and it just was nasty. And it was like a $30 piece of meat for half of it to be wasted, and then 10% of it to be taken off. It was like 10% seasoning and just concentrated on the edges, and then fat. It was disappointing. I was upset. So just a random review that has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now, but, well, I suppose I thought of it because I'm doing beef, but ugh, it was gross. It was not good. It was not it, sis. I think we went on, I think it was like a Tuesday that we went. Normally though, when I get prime rib, okay, I go to this place in Eagan called Casper's. They have prime rib on either Fridays or Saturdays. They have prime ribs on Fridays or Saturdays for like, it's like under $20. I don't remember, but it's pretty cost effective. I don't want to say cheap because it's not cheap, but like it's pretty cost effective, and it tastes nice. They don't over season it, and it's always cooked really well. If you know what you're asking for. I prefer my meat to be a little bit more red, so I get medium rare. But obviously you can get it cooked at different temperatures. But yeah, it's pretty good. So anyway, I'm just finishing up cutting up the beef here. I have this one and then 2 more left. And then we'll move on to the next step. We're already 14 minutes into the video. Sorry, I didn't realize it would take this long. I thought I'd be done with this by now, but I guess with the rearranging of my spot in the beginning kind of messed it up a little bit, like time-wise. So I apologize. But like I said earlier, if you stick with me to the end, cool, thank you. You learned how to cook beef curd. If not, it's fine. It's fine. Just look out for the next video if you're gonna log off right now, or just fast forward through the part of me cutting the beef. I don't have the editing software to make this part go fast. Like some YouTubers will just forward through parts and it'll be like going really fast. That's a lot of fat. I don't have that software. And I don't know how to edit videos. That is more Tiffany's area of expertise. That's okay. Well, this is actually a lot of beef and I'm not even done cutting the rest. So I might need to actually make 2 bags of potatoes. Initially I was only going to use 1 bag, but when I'm done cutting this I'll show you how much steak I have, and I still have two left to go. I need to slow down with this knife. I'm going to chop my finger off. Well, not off, but... So, speaking ahead of what I'm doing, so when I take this meat over to the stove to cook it, I have olive oil already going, so you kind of want... That wouldn't get off of my finger. You kind of want the olive oil, and use olive oil, it does taste better with this, but you want the olive oil to already be hot when you're putting... That's a piece of fat. When you're putting the meat in. So the pan is ready for me now. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to dump all of this into the pan. I'm going to put cilantro and jalapenos in the pan so they can cook a little bit in the flavor that the meat is going to cook in. Because the flavor that the meat is going to cook in is going to be a little bit different than the curry I'm going to use. The ingredients that are going to go on the beef are, hold on, it's called coriander or cumin powder. I'm going to be using garam masala. I'm going to be using a little bit of this. And then, ooh, almost dropped it. And then I'm going to be using this. And so now this, I'm also going to be using a little of this, goes a long way, just adds to the flavor. It's saffron. Look at it. So you literally just grab a pinch of it, a pinch or 2 of it, throw it in, and it tastes nice. It just, like I said, it just helps the flavor. Don't use too much of it because saffron is really strong. Why is this extremely hard to cut? Whoa, hold on. Hang on. Let me cut this. Oh, whoa. Release all this fat. I don't want this much. Let go. Whoa, that was my finger. I just cut on top of my fingernail. No blood, but now there's an indentation in my fingernail. It's fine. It's fine. It's supposed to be like that. Oh. Why was that so hard to cut? Wow. Okay, I'm not going to pick my phone up right now because my hands are clean. And I just re-rinsed them off and I don't want to do it again. But my cat is sitting on the floor right here, just chilling, and it's kind of cute. Again, so I am trimming some of the fat off of some of this because it's a lot. You don't have to. You can keep the fat on if you want. It will add to the flavor and it'll create a little bit of an oil base, which is nice when you're when you store it in the fridge, because what it'll do is it'll create a little layer with the flavor on top of the food when it's cold, and then when you heat it up, the flavor goes back down into the bowl. There's enough fat on here to do that on its own, and I just don't want too much on. But it's up to you, up to your discretion, how much fat you want to leave on. It's up to you. And it also depends with what kind of meat you cook. I know my godmother has cooked with filet mignon steak before, and that does have a nice marbled fat, so it kind of is like this, how there's like a nice percentage of fat in meat. So hang on, just gonna cut. Okay, that ripped in half on its own, but I'm still gonna make that a little bit smaller because that's a thick piece. even though thick is not necessarily a bad thing. Oh. Let me stop. I'll stop now. So almost done cutting the steak, guys. I know we're 20 minutes in. I'm sorry. Did not realize it was going to take this long. Also, like I was saying a little bit earlier, I don't know if this video is going to naturally kind of cut itself into 2 parts. If it does, watch the next however many parts there are. I am going to have you watch me and just show you kind of the process of cooking this until the end. You can always fast forward on parts of this or just go to the next part or next video. I won't be offended, I promise. But yeah, like I said, we just subscribe to our channel, like this video, show me that you're watching it, comment what you think, comment if there's something you want me to try to cook. I do love cooking, and I'll make a video of it. My pile of beef is a lot. So, okay, so let me show you this. So this is a good amount of fat to have on it, just a little bit along the edges, so I'm probably not going to trim that, just because it's mostly meat. There's not a lot of fat on this piece, and I do not want any piece of meat to turn out dry and not tender just because I'm pan frying it first. Some of the fat is actually peeling off. I'll have to cut that piece off. See, now some of the fat kind of just peeled off, so I will cut this piece off because I don't want just a piece of fat free floating in my food. Yeah. Dang. Didn't want it to do that. Yep, see, it's all kind of coming off. So if it's starting to come off, cut it off. Otherwise, when you're cooking, someone's gonna get this as a bite of food, and it'll taste fine, but it won't taste great. It'll have a weird texture to it. Let go. Yep, all the fat's coming off. Great. That's fine. That's fine. I'm fine. It's fine. Fine. Be that way. Nope. Stay there. So I'll show you the amount of... You're already coming off. I'll show you the amount of steak. Or beef. It's not steak anymore, really. I'll show you the amount of beef that I have after 6 New York steak strips. And then you can kind of determine how much you're going to need or make. But what I'm cooking with is 6. I bought 6 of them just because when I make food, I distribute it to my family, and I give a little bit to my godmother, I give a little bit to my dad in that household, and I kind of give him a lot because my brother lives there too, just in case he wants to try some. And I will probably be bringing over a little bit of this to my grandpa, who is currently living with my half-sister and biological mother. So I make a lot, and plus I want some for my household. So that's like 1, 2, 3. So I'm cooking for 3 households. And I always offer food, just because my family fed me. My family fed me and clothed me growing up, so I'm just returning the favor when I can. Well, I return the favor when I can. Not that I owe them, but every time I cook, I always offer a little bit of what I cook to my family. I always cook a little bit extra just for that. Nah, it's an okay size. Okay, so that is it for the steak. I will show you how much that 6 of them made, and then I gotta cut the veggies because the veggies are going in the pan. That is how much beef it made. Hold on. Whoa, that is a sexy angle. Wow. Okay, this is how much 6 made. If you're cooking for 1 household, like an average family size is like 4 to 5, you can probably get away, depending on how much you eat, with probably 3 or 4, because I'm also doing, I'm gonna do 2 bags of potatoes. I'm also doing potatoes, 2 of these, and this is 1.5 pounds, well, maybe not. This is 1.5 pounds of potatoes. I'm having cilantro in there, jalapeno, a full, 2 jars of curry, garlic, so there's gonna be a lot going into this. So that's kind of I guess that's kind of why I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so with the jalapeno, you guys saw me cut it before with the chicken. I cut it the same way. Cut the end off. Cut the end off. Let's knock that to the side. We'll use this tray as my, the paper the steak came in, we'll use it as like the garbage collector. So I'm only using one jalapeno, because when I made it last time it was too spicy for Tiffany, and it really didn't get eaten here except for by me. What you can do to kind of prevent some of the spiciness is you can knock the seeds out, but I keep the seeds in. I just prefer it that way. It adds flavor and spice. And really, the jalapeno and the garam masala are the only ingredients with any kind of spiciness in them. So I'm gonna leave the seeds in. And I do like the food to bite back. Have a little bit of a bite back. So cilantro, I am gonna cut it pretty fine. Last time with the chicken, when I cooked, you saw me just cut it like this. And then I just put it in like this. I am gonna cut it. I do have a blender, but I prefer just hand doing it. So how I cut it is I kind of bunch it together with my hands like this. And then I just cut it from here. Like I dice it pretty small. Just because no one wants to eat a leaf. Unless you're having a salad, I suppose. I try to pick out some of the stems. Doesn't really matter if they're in there or not. It would be better to take out the stems just because it feels like you're chomping on a piece of hair when you get that. Like, see, now that I'm going to take out. This is actually a lot. Cilantro, but hold on. Ooh, that was close. There's really no rhyme or reason to how I cut this. Normally people just throw it in a blender. Like I said, I'm not going to do that. I like to control the size and how much it cuts. I like to pick the stems out. Well, the excessive stems. So if you have a blender, throw it in the blender. I have one somewhere. I think it's up in the cupboard, but I'm not using it. Okay. That is pretty good and diced up. I also put cilantro in because it adds color. Honestly, it adds a little bit of green to it. So there's that. This is pretty much the stuff that's going to go in the pan. I'm going to take you over to the pan right now just so you can kind of see me put the seasoning within the pan. So again, ouch. The olive oil is hot. So as soon as I put something in, it's going to sizzle. It's going to be loud, so I'm going to talk loud. If I'm talking too loud, I am sorry. I can't really tell what volume I'm speaking. Obviously just by standing here and just recording. So this is a garam masala. I do have it in the same bottle as this because I had an empty one and I really just got it in a big tub. So I'm just going to put this in first. And keep in mind, when you put the seasoning in, we're not doing it like that. When you put the seasoning in, it's going to cook. The seasoning itself is going to cook. So you do not put the seasoning in before you're ready to put all the stuff in the pan. So just see how it's kind of cooking and simmering. So I'll put that, put a little bit of the dash. This is just a really easy seasoning to cook with. Let it simmer. Steak seasoning, because I do want to bring out the flavor of the beef. This does bring out flavor of any protein